this video, we are going to show you how to add and manage products in Woocommerce. So if you look down here, we have Woocommerce, and right underneath that we have products. So if we click on products, we will see our product section now. We haven't created a product yet. So I just wanted to take a look at this, add product. We also have categories, tags, and attributes. Now, we're going to need categories and definitely attributes. Tags is up to you. So let's start off by adding a product. So we click Add Product. So it takes us to a very similar page that we're used to seeing. This might have a little bit more data than the other ones. Similar to a page, similar to a post, but let's go through it before we start adding it. Now you can see we have the product name at the top. This area right here is what is considered the long description of the product. Underneath that we have a lot of the product data that we're going to set. So right now this is a simple product. If this was a product with options such as size, color, things like that, it would be a variable product. So if you're just selling, say, like you know, like a, I don't even know, like just a dress or like a shirt that had no options, for example, it would be a simple product. Like maybe a hat that's resizable would be a simple product. There's no options to it. But if you had a t-shirt maybe, and it was you had a small, medium, and large, that would be a variable product. So you can see here we have price fields for regular price and sales price. We can even schedule the sale. So if you want the sale to go from today until the end of the month, you could do it right there. If you are setting up a variable product, you'll notice that those fields go away because you have to set them at the variable variation level. And we'll get to that in a second. This is irrelevant. You don't need to look at that. What we have here is the product short description. Now this is the shorter description that will appear next to the price, next to the image, and next to the sizes and things like that. So this is a shorter description. This is where you get into more detail up here. Over here on the right, just like pages and posts, you can see we have the product categories. We can add them here or we can add them here. And if we had some added, they would appear here. So underneath that we have tags, and they behave in the same way as post tags. Underneath that we have the product image. This is the main image of the product. This will show on the shop page when you're looking at all the products, and it'll also be the first image that they see. Product gallery is very, different views of the same product. So you can add different views of a shirt, maybe the front and the back, the side, or something like that. So that's basically an overview of a product. So why don't we add a product, and it's going to be a watch. So we're going to call it, actually let's call it, just to keep this in this theme, the best watch ever. Actually, you know what? Let's capitalize these because it is a title of a product, so we want it to look like a title. So the best watch ever. And the long description, why don't we, just so you can see exactly what the fields look like. Let's gather a little bit of Greek here, just a little lorem ipsum real quick, just so we can, because I can't come up with that much fake text. So I'll actually paste in the text just so it doesn't bring over any of its styling. So we can go down to the short description here and be like, and write a shorter description that this is the best watch we've ever seen. And that would be the shorter description. We have the longer description. We can add the same things. It's the same editor. You can see that we have bold, italic, and all of these different things that were also in the posts and in the pages. So we can style this as needed using these tools. Let's add a category. So I think that the way I like to do it, you can do it while you're in here. The way I like to do it is actually to click on categories. And when you do that, you'll enter this little area. And in fact, when you're adding categories for posts, it looks the exact same way. So we can say that this is under, let's say, watches. Okay. And it doesn't have a parent. And we can actually add an image for this category if we want to. Let's add another category of just accessories, just like that. And so we can actually come over here and edit watches and make it a child of accessories, because that makes sense, doesn't it? Watches would be under accessories. So we go back to our product categories, and we can see that we have two different categories. We have accessories and watches. Now let's go back to the product, and actually let's save this as a draft so that we can see those new categories that just came through without publishing it. So you can see that we have saved it as a draft. We're going to add accessories and watches. I'm going to ignore tags because unless your store is really, really massive and you need to give a lot of different kinds of ways of navigating through it, I would just really ignore that. It's not that important. So let's set up image for it. For the product image, we're going to set this image here. It's a watch. Again, we're going to add the title to the alt text and set that as the product image. We're going to come in here to gallery, and we're going to add this and this, because why not? Because that is a clock after all. I just want you to see kind of what that feels like to have two different images in your product gallery, and you can drag and drop them to whatever order you would like. So if this was a simple product, we would just add the price here. Let's make this a variable product, and we'll give it a few colors, I think is the best way to do that. Now we can do it, before we add a variable, which is like size or color or anything like that, we can add it here. Or what we can do is we can add it here, where you see attributes. Now this screen looks a lot like the screen we were just in with categories. So we will add a new attribute called color. And we have different options here. I wouldn't worry about too many of these. Let's just go with color. So now that we've added color, we can click on edit. And now we can see that we have different things here that we can change the slug, we can change the name, we can change how it's ordered, things like that. So that's fine. We don't need to look at that. Let's go back to attributes. So we're going to add we're going to go into color, and we're going to, you can see it says no color found. So we're going to add a few colors. So why don't we add black? We'll add white. And just for the sake of this tutorial, we'll add blue. Okay, great. And we can edit these if we need to, that type of thing. So let's go back to attributes, and now we can see that we have color, and this is the one that has our terms of black, blue, and white. So if we were to configure the terms here, by clicking that, we can drag these up. So blue's first, or white's first, or black's first. And so that's how that is done as far as configuring the order of said terms, because we had, remember, we left that original attribute at custom ordering as far as the ordering, so we can custom order it. So let's go back to the product. Again, we're going to save it as draft so we can get those attributes to come in. So we're going to change this from a simple product to a variable product. Now we can add a SKU if we need to. We can enable stock management at the product level, and we can say this is sold individually. It can only be bought one time. Let's go down to attributes first. So we can go down and we click this drop down. Now you can see we have color here. So all we gotta do is click add, and then we can either search for the terms we want. So say maybe this is only available in white and black and not blue. We can do that. So we can be like, okay, white, just pick them, or we could say select all, and now we have all of them right here. This is a thing that I don't like to have it visible on the page. When it's visible on the page, what that means is it creates an additional tab next to the description that says additional information, and it'll say color, and it'll say black, white, and blue. I find that to be a little bit redundant. So unless you have a lot of specs and they need to be visible on the page, I usually click that off. And then I click used for variations. This is important. You have to click that. So we'll click Save Attributes. We'll come over here to Variations, and we will add a variation. We'll click Go, Add Variation. And you can see it says Default from Values, no default color. We can set a default color, black, blue, or white, or we can say, okay, any color is $500. Or we could say that the black one is $500, and we could say that the blue one, let's see, the blue one is $400, and the white one is also $400. So, whoops, the white one. So if we go back to the black one, we can see that we have regular price. We can do a sales price. Again, we can schedule it. We can also have a different SKU for this one. So we could say 001 BLK. So we know that this is the black watch. We can manage the stock of this one. So we could say that we have 15 of these. And we can add the weights and the dimensions. If we're using a more complicated way of shipping, we can add that kind of information. We don't really need to. Another thing we can do is we can add an image so that when they select this option of black watch, it shows a different image than this. Clearly that's black, so you could add this. I'll just show you how it's done. It opens up the manager again, and you could just say, okay, that's the one for black, and then we can go into white and say, oh, we want to manage the stock of this one, and we might have 25 of these, and we can say, oh, this is the image for the white one, and we could say, okay, this SKU is 001 WHT. So, and we can add it's sales price of $350, and it starts 21st and it ends the 30th. Perfect. So we can allow back orders or not. Again, we can add the descriptions, things like that. So, and we can come in here and configure this one and give this a SKU of 001-blue and manage stock, and we have 18 of these. And there's no sales price on that, and then we can save our changes, and we can make it so that there's a default color. We don't have to have it if we don't want it. So with all of that being configured, why don't we publish this product and see what it looks like. So we can go ahead and click on the permalink. Take a look. Now we have the main image of the product here, and we have our little gallery here. So when we click on this, we get a nice little pop-up, and we can cycle through these and say, oh, okay, there's a clock, there's a watch, that kind of thing. So you can see our title here. This is the best watch ever. This is the short description. You can see that right now this label is white. Now that's some sort of, that's a oversight, so that'll be easily changed. But like by the time you get your site, this will all be styled and configured. Then we have our options. We have black. It says 15 in stock. All of these options are configurable. You notice that when I selected white, the picture changed up here. I can select blue. It goes back to the default picture when that wants to do that. And you can see that the price is changing, tells us how much in stock. We have quantity here. We can add it to cart. It's telling us the SKU of this one, what categories it's in. You can see underneath that we have the product description. The sidebars is showing up just because this hasn't been configured like it normally would have been. So here's the longer product description. We have a review section here where they can give your watch a rating or whatever product a rating and a review. And when they add it to the cart, say blue, the best watch ever has been added to your cart. You can go view the cart and you can see the image there. You can see the product name and all of this, and they can check out. So why don't we do that? Let's check out right now. In fact, let's add our coupon from before. I think it was, actually I didn't make it. I never saved it. So if I had a coupon, we could apply it right now, but that's right, I did not set that up. So let's proceed to checkout. So you can see that we have a place to enter our details. Again, they'll ask if we have a coupon code and we can enter that. Talks about shipping because we're in the United States. Remember, we set up a flat rate of $15. So this is our total, and we're going to do cash on delivery just to process this order. So we're going to enter in some names here. So we have my name. It's got my email already there. My phone number is 555-555-5555. Believe it or not, that is true. United States address is 4849 Southeast Division Street. We're in Portland, Oregon, and 97206. So we can do, the customer can also ship to a different address, add some notes. We're not going to go too much into that. So let's place the order. So if you heard that, I just got an email, probably didn't though, saying that I got a order received, order number, date, placed. We have the total of the watch plus the shipping, payment method, gives us all this information, customer detail, shipping and billing address, that kind of thing like that. So if I open my email, let's see, where is the, sorry about that, I don't have that email open right now. Well, it went to my Stellaractive email, and I don't think I have that open right now, but either way, there would have been an email sent to the person that made the order. They would have gotten an email, and you can see, like, if we go back into the back end, we'll look at so this is already processed. So we'll go in and we'll go to Woocommerce. Actually, let's refresh this and just show you that it'll have a little notification for you. So we can go right here and you can see orders, and it tells you that we have an order. So that's fun. And we go and look at it. So we have new order that's processing. It's number 84, Sam Sasso, purchased, one item. The shipping address, and so we can actually come in here and let's view this order or edit this order. So here we can see the payment method, the date, the order status, the customer name, the billing address, and it says to ship to the same address. So if there's nothing here, you can see that they're both the same address. Email, phone number. You need to get a hold of them. that kind of thing. So you can see that they were charged for the watch for $400, flat rate of $15 for shipping, and on the right side you can see a little bit order notes. So it's item received, reduced the stock from 18 to 17. Payment method was changed from pending to processing. So up at the top we can also change the actions. So we can resend some of these emails if we need to. We can also right here change it from, so maybe it's processing, maybe it's on hold, maybe it's completed, maybe it was canceled, failed, however you want to do it. So like say it's completed, save the order, because we shipped this off to me. So now when we go back into orders, you can see that this is now switched from processing or pending to completed. And this is where all of your orders will be. You can see that if we go now to reports like we did earlier, our sales have skyrocketed. You can see that we have gross sales in the last period. This is our average daily gross sales, net sales, because we had $15 for shipping. That wasn't a part of our sales. And you can look at customers. So I'm the only one that's doing stuff here. So customer sales, customer versus guest. So there you go. Customer was me, 100%. Stock has changed. So there's no low stock. We did add some stock, so there should be some. Yeah, there we go. So units in stock. See how much we've got. We have the most in white. So that's how you add a product. Let's go back and look at the product. So we can see our product here. We can see a few things about it before we click at it. So if we go and we actually click in there, now we can come back in here and we can make changes. We can update stock. We can update images. We can do whatever we need to do. The other thing that is really convenient sometimes when you have similar products is you can duplicate them, and that way you don't have to go through and reconfigure everything. If, say for example, you were doing another watch that had the same colors and similar pricing, you could duplicate it, and then you could go from there and change all the options that you need to. But I mean, that's pretty much it as far as adding and editing products, adding categories, adding variations. So I hope that was helpful.